I forgot how much the oars cheer sounds like a majestic animal dying. It's not like the others. No, I appreciate it. It's a great cheer. Or it sounds like you've been confronted by your natural predator, the saber-toothed Mowbray. It was a great blessing being in Oars, though, because it was the locker room closest to the dining hall. Stuffing your face 40 seconds sooner is what it's all about. Enjoy the Arts Festival. Thank you very much. No, sorry, they're not going to give me a free sweatshirt for that. I got to talk a bit longer. What's doing? What did I miss? We're getting the show on a delay. It's a great privilege to be asked to be part of this today, to share the stage with the remarkable talent that we've seen. As soon as I knew this was happening, I went right to Moore's, the suit people. I said, make me look good. Since it's Laidlaw Hall on a Monday, expectations will be high. If this was Ridley, I'd be wearing cargo pants. Because who cares? Or are they halfway up the QEW? This is the School Avenue Road, has to go around. You bring it. Right. Oh, yeah. Now, when I was a student in morning assembly, and back then it started first thing, it was before first period, the only thing I cared about when we had a guest speaker was, is there any chance this is going to run long and blow out first period, because I hadn't done my homework. And I promised myself, if I was ever in this situation, I would let you know up front what the story is on the next class. Now, I know recess follows assembly now, so going long is bad, but if you go really long, it gets good again, because you're, right? Yeah. So, I will tell you, the 15-year-old me needs second period to not happen. So I'm going to stall like nobody has ever stalled up here before. Right? If you haven't done your homework for fourth period, relax, I gotcha. So I'd like to start by describing my birth in great detail. Some members of the faculty thinking it wasn't the best idea letting me speak here. I should tell you how I got to speak here, actually. I got a phone call, this is true, out of the blue a few months ago, from Mr. Andrew Turner, who was a great teacher and a hockey coach of much renown in my day. And it was out of the blue. I just picked up the phone and it's, hello, Greg, it's Andrew Turner from Upper Canada College, and we're always concerned with the mental well-being of our students, and we thought, you know, if you want to come speak in morning assembly, and I said, shut up. And he said, what? I said, just shut up. You had me at hello. You had me at hello. You had me at hello. No, he did not take that well. Boy, it's true what they say, phones and cameras really are everywhere now, aren't they? So we're here now. We were going to come in for Mental Health Week a few months ago, but we were busy with the TV show, and this is perfect timing because at the Mercer Report, we end our season in early April so we can watch the hockey playoffs, as do the Leafs. We know that. Come on. All right, well, you know it's love. They were good in 2000. Hey. I'll tell you what. We know which exit I'm going to be using. I will say in defense of the Toronto Maple Leafs organization, this is a rebuilding millennium. When they put all the pieces together in the year 3015, the naysayers are going to look ridiculous. Especially since a lot of their rival teams will be eliminated by rising ocean tides. Right? Yeah. Boston will be gone. Both New York teams out of the way. Carolina, Washington, Tampa, Florida. Pretty clear route to the Final Four. I'll tell you that throughout my career, I've found that if you approach things with a bit of humility, it always helps you. No matter how much you kick it here, when you get out there, you will fail occasionally. And if you have a bit of humility, I forgot to mention, by the way, if you're live tweeting this, it's hashtag greatest old boy returns. A little bit of humility I have found in any situation. I will tell you a true story. When I started doing stand-up comedy, it was right out of UCC, and it went well at first, and then the economy died, and the business died. I was 25 years old. I was looking for odd jobs, anything, and there was nothing to be had because the economy was terrible. I went down to the unemployment office to see if I qualified for anything. I didn't think I did. I filled out an application, says I've been a stand-up comedian. It took 6 hours to get called to the desk. It was so depressing. I finally handed in the application. She looks down at it. She looks up at me. I'm not kidding. This is exactly what she says. "And how long has it been since you were a clown?" So if you hit a rough patch, keep in mind I came back from that. You'll be surprised how quickly you feel older when you get out of here. Oh, I had a big milestone of aging at a different school recently. I went to my first parent-teacher interview. My kid's in grade 10, I figured it was time. And you wonder what they're going to say. Like, you wonder if you passed your flaws on to your child because what they always said about me was he can't pay attention in class. He's got to pay attention in class. So I was curious what they would say, and what I found out was I can't pay attention in parent-teacher interviews. Just looking at the clock, 4 minutes to go. I'm sure I was here more than 1 minute. I'm so hungry. Still 4 minutes. I felt old the second I left here. The culture gets away from you. You think you'll always be into current music. Hip-hop was taking over when I left here, and I tried to get into it. I was just confused. I went to a hip-hop concert. I remember the guy on stage said, "Wave your hands in the air like you just don't care." And I was just confused, because I never heard of waving your hands in the air as a way of showing you don't care about something. Was that something people ever did? "Hey, Greg, the National Ballet is in town." Is that right? Yeah. Complete Tchaikovsky retrospective. Good to know. Weird. Lesson, something doesn't make sense just because it rhymes, okay? Wave your hands there like you just don't. You can't do that. You can't just say, clap your hands like you got swollen glands. It doesn't make sense. Thank you for following on that. I am still confused by popular music. I don't understand why so many of your songs today are about stolen treasure. It's just weird to me. So many songs, every other song's about stolen treasure now. It's booty this and booty that. The pirate culture's always been a thing. All right, look. I'm going to say a couple things real quickly. This is not just where I started doing comedy. It's where I started watching live comedy. When I got to the upper school, and back then it was in grade 9, Kyle Swanson was the funniest guy in the school. He was in grade 12. I could not wait for the days he would get up here and do anything. Still the funniest person I've ever seen in my life. He could ad-lib, he could write, he could do perfect impressions. He wasn't just funny here, he did the Blazer. I remember one day, it was the first day of spring. I'm in Mr. Webb's English class. I noticed something out the window. Kyle is sunbathing in the long jump pit. It couldn't have been more than 2 degrees out. He's got the beach ball. It's just so inspired. And I could never have thought of something like that. He did skits, so I did skits. He did the Blazer, so I did the Blazer. I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're doing anything up here, comedy or otherwise, know there are younger people with more than a passing interest in your craft. I've still never done anything as funny as Kyle did. I have not had to compete with him in my life. Luckily, he did not go into the business. I've always felt lucky that so many of the funniest people would never stoop to doing it for a living. They've got bigger things. He does not want to be a clown. At the time, I would tell people what we would do here, friends in public school and stuff, and they could never believe what we would get away with here. They would say, we could never do that. You know, my dad once pointed out that for a school that's famous as sort of a bastion of whatever you want to call it, old money, blue blood conservatism, inside these walls, it was always remarkably liberal-minded. Creative pursuits and pushing boundaries was encouraged. There were always school trips going to developing countries to build irrigation and housing. Mr. Webb would take school trips to the Soviet Union when nobody was doing that kind of thing. It was the Iron Curtain at that time. I was in the writer's room last year at the Mercer Report, and Rick he's reading the paper. He saw an article about the teleconferencing thing with Snowden that took place here. And he's very astute about this kind of thing, Rick. He was blown away. He said very few schools would take on something like that. He wasn't taking a position on the issue, just the willingness to have an important issue be heard was endlessly impressive. So nice going, and nice going to Mr. Power, who had the guts to do that. He's, of course, not here today because he's got a couple of months to go. What does he care? He's busy booking a U-Haul. But that's why he gets the front row seat. Mr. Cowie, of course, also a front row seat, so I have to ask, StubHub? You StubHub that one? Just curious. We're going to show a clip from the television show that's a decade old. It was a parody of a TV commercial that was on way too much back then. We'll show a bit of the actual commercial first. Gentlemen, please roll it.
With their flagship credit cards, banks always have their hand in your pocket. Get them out with Capital One. Great low rates,
That's cool.
fees, and rewards you can actually use. What saves you all?
So that jingle, that hands in my pocket thing, it was in everybody's head. People were sick of it, the shadowy guy in the black suit. And so Rick said, we got to parody this thing. And every idea we had came back to this liberal scandal where they had their hands in the pockets of taxpayers. And it was too obvious. Then I thought of something. And I looked at it and said, I cannot hand this in. This is too stupid. The Mercer Report will not appreciate this. I put it in a drawer. It sat there for months. And then one day I didn't have anything else. I was stuck. I got to hand that in. They liked it. They produced it right away. It was the third most downloaded thing in the world that week. I still don't know why it was funny, and that's disturbing when a writer doesn't get his own bit. It's not the kind of thing I normally write. It is the Mercer Report version of the Hands in My Pocket commercial. Gentlemen, once again, please roll. This is a fact. I'm the only person in the Mercer Writers Room with a post-secondary education. My nickname for that reason is college, my claim to fame. Knee in my package. Knee in my package is college. It's the sophistication that comes with that education. I hate to end this on a sour note, but there is a Wikipedia page for UCC notable alumni, and I am not on it. Even though there's a section specifically for visual media, the thing I am in, it's got to be like 40 names there. I've looked at them. I know there's at least 3 I can hang with, for sure. I have had my own stand-up special. I've written for television for 20 years. This is a Canadian Screen Award. Want to hold it? Yeah, so would Jim Deeks, television journalist and political advisor. He would kill to touch one of these. What I am speaking about is nothing short of a grave injustice. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the screen above center stage while Greg Eckler will take his rightful place among the legendary names of the UCC Notable Alumni Wikipedia page. Accomplished actor Melvin Douglas, whose merit is undeniable, will be removed to preserve bandwidth while assuring Greg Eckler takes his rightful place in correct alphabetical order. I am deeply moved by this. I thank the teachers who helped me get to this point, and let's just agree we're not going to tell the estate of Melvin Douglas what happened here today. Thank you all for having me. It's a great honor. Thanks to the booth and Evan Williams and Andrew Turner, terrific collaborators, and have a wonderful Arts Festival. Thank you very much.